welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the common money mistakes immigrants make when they get to the UK, and this is by a special person, a nurse colleague as well in the UK that immigrated to the UK from the Philippines. So she's going to be talking about the common money mistakes that immigrants make, and she also made these mistakes in the beginning when she came to the UK. She has stayed in the UK for more than 7 years, and these mistakes that we are going to be talking about, I feel is very common to all the immigrants. So Angela, take it away.
Hello everyone, nice to meet you. My name is Angela and I am a nurse specialist. I work in the NHS. I came from the Philippines and I arrived in the UK about 7 years ago. And the interesting thing with me is that while working as a nurse, 2 years ago, I started learning about design because that is what I'm really passionate about. And then I learned how to use Adobe. I learned how to use how to make logos and how to make icons and stuff like that. Until eventually I co-founded a fintech startup with a friend of mine, and we call it Nova Money. And it is about how to manage your finances properly. Now, being in the healthcare industry, I don't know anything about finance, and since I started being in Nova Money, that is when I learned all of the things about money management, all of the things about finance that I did not know about, and that's why I kind of learned about the mistakes that I made as well when I came here, and how I've changed that into having a new mindset now. So, the very first money mistake that I think a lot of immigrants do is not saving up for the immigration expenses earlier on. I don't know, Linda, if you're familiar with how much we need to spend whenever we're getting a visa renewal, and then the indefinite leave to remain, and then the British citizenship. When I renewed my visa 4 years ago, I had to pay the visa plus the immigration health surcharge. I mean, unfortunately for me, that was the year when all of that started. So I paid like 1,100 just for renewing my visa alone. I don't know what your experience is like, Linda, with the visa renewal. I think they exempted at the moment, or the healthcare workers are exempted.
It's time for me to renew my visa. They already made this, like it was during the pandemic, and then they gave extra 1 year free of charge for health surcharge, so I didn't need to pay anything. So I just reapplied,
so the visa fee, I think at the moment is around 500 to 600 pounds
free of charge.
But just
again.
So you're
so I was
aware,
really,
the immigration health surcharge has already increased to 624 pounds per year. So if you're gonna be renewing for a 3-year visa, that's 624 times 3. That's 1,860 plus the visa itself. So it's very, very expensive. The indefinite leave to remain, I paid a total of 3,300 pounds. So the base cost of that is around 2,300. And if you're not prepared for that, and let's say you're due to renew you're due to apply for the ILR and you don't have that much money, it's gonna be very, very difficult to find somewhere to finance that. So being prepared for things like that at a much earlier stage, like the moment you arrive in the UK, you save for your emergency fund, you pay off any high interest debt, and then you start saving for your immigration expenses. That can really help you at that time when you are due to pay for all of those stuff. The other thing that you need to consider,
Yes, I completely agree. When you get to the UK, you better start saving right from day one, especially if you have family, because remember, if you have family, you have to pay for yourself and pay for your children. And even in her case, like if you have to pay for your ILR, or you have to pay to renew your visa after 3 years, then you have to pay for your whole family. And if you've not been planning, if you have been using your money for other things, you find yourself really struggling to get that money. So it's really, really important that you start saving. Just have in mind, okay, start saving for that renewal, because you don't want to struggle, I'm telling you.
The other money mistake that I think a lot of immigrants do is opting out of their pension scheme. the ones that the employees give them. I work on the NHS and I have the NHS pensions, but one of the things that I did was opt out of it after within 2 years when I came here. And the reason why I opted out was because I wanted that extra cash. So like, you know, when you're looking at your payslip and you see NHS pensions that's like £200 or £300 per month, and I was like, why would I want to give out that to them? I want that money. So I opted out. But what I did not realize was I was missing out on the employer contribution, and as also missing out on the 20% tax exemption when I just keep my money there. I think at my thinking before was this very short term, like I wanted the money now so I can spend it, but I wasn't thinking about what will happen to me in retirement age, what will happen to me at 65 years old if I don't have any pensions. What are your thoughts about the pensions?
So on that, I will actually say that it actually depends on your own plan, because sometimes if you don't have a long-term plan to stay in the UK, some people find it like they don't feel it is important for them to continue with the pension. But if you do have a long-term plan to stay in the UK, then having a pension is actually a good one, because like she said, you'll be missing out on the contribution from your employer. So it actually makes sense, because sometimes even when you don't contribute, when you don't have a pension plan, you don't still save that money that you're supposed to be putting out for your pension. So instead of not saving it, you just allow that pension to be there, because you might need it. Many people do need that pension when they get old, so it's actually a very good one to have a pension. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you an example. So for last year, I actually checked my NHS pension contribution. So this is at a band 7 salary. For the whole year of 2020 to 2021, I contributed £3,900. So that was what they deducted from my salary. But the NHS gave an extra £6,100 on top of it. So in 1 year, I had £10,000 added into my pension pot. See, if I opted out, I would lose the 6,000 extra that they gave me. So that's free money that we aren't like utilizing if we opt out, because they're not gonna give that to us. They're just gonna take it back. So I lost the 6,000. I would have lost the 6,000, and then the 3,100 that I contributed, they would deduct the 20% tax from that one. So I would only get something like £2,000. You know, so things like that. I wish when I opted out, it has been explained to me, but I think the experience I had was I said I'm gonna opt out, and then I just got asked, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure." You know, but there was nothing to explain to me why the decisions I make are not always the best decisions all the time.
Some of the things that people actually say is that they are not sure if they are going to get their pension if they move to another trust or to another country. So are you saying that it's possible to do that, to move your pension from your own trust?
Definitely. I mean, if you're moving within the NHS, for example, if I move from one hospital to another hospital within the NHS pensions is just going to be continuing. So it doesn't matter if you move from one employer to the next. The one that might be a bit more complicated is you're moving from the NHS to a private sector, because the NHS pensions is a different kind of scheme. But you can, even if you leave the NHS, say for example, I work in the NHS for 10 years and then I decided I don't want to work in the NHS anymore. At the time of retirement, I will still be able to get the contribution that I made within the 10 years time. So there is, you know, they cannot really just say, oh, we won't give your pensions anymore because you're not working for the NHS anymore. So you will still get all of that back. Even if you move abroad, you will still be able to get the contributions that you made on the NHS, or like anywhere, any pension that you contributed to while you're working. It does work a little bit different with private companies. Usually they have this like pension pots that you can either transfer to the new company you're working in, but for those things it would be better to ask your employer about that one. Yeah, the other thing is that I left a lot of my savings on a savings account that was not growing. So you know, in the UK, savings account usually is like 0.1% interest rate. So if you had like £10,000 on a savings account and you left it there, you're only gonna get something like £2 or £5 interest from that. And the reason why I did that was I did not know anything about investing at that time when I came here. You know, in the Philippines, we live paycheck to paycheck. I earned like 300 pounds per month. So I didn't really think about investing at all. And it was not something that people taught me when I was in school. So when I came here, I saved a lot of money, but I didn't invest a part of it. So I just kept it on a savings account and it was just getting eroded by inflation. So one of the things that I learned, and I really wish I'd done much earlier, was that I started investing at an earlier age. So it's not that difficult. I invested in the stock market. I invest in index funds or ETFs. And contrary to what people believe, it's not that complicated to do it. And also, investing is not just for the rich people. You can invest something like £100 per month, but the sooner you start investing, like the quicker your money will grow over time because of this concept called compound interest, which again I did not know about. So basically, compound interest is your money makes money, so that's the interest that you get from the investments, and then that money makes more money as well, and that money makes more money in the future. So you're not just working for money. Eventually, your money will start working for you. So that is one of the mistakes. I invest in a platform called Vanguard. There are so many investment platforms out there. I set up mine as an auto debit, like a direct debit, so that I don't have to think about it anymore. So every time I have my salary, a percentage of it goes to investments. And I don't do trading. I just do like long-term investing. And that is, start that building up my money as well.
Anyway, the problem I think is that some people don't even know how to invest. Like, okay, I want to invest now, what do I do? So because there is little information out there, or maybe trusted information out there on how to invest, because some of these things that work, people are afraid of falling into problems when they are trying to invest or losing their money. So I think it's about the education and also knowing exactly how to begin. A lot of people don't know how to begin, but I believe that about investing is going to be a really long topic, and it should be a story for another day. So if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, subscribe, because these important issues, we are going to be discussing it. And I know if you have a plan to move to the UK, to work in the UK, I believe that this channel will be really, really helpful for you.
Next 2 points, like I kind of can mix it into one point. The main thing is that I did not really have a plan in terms of my financial goals. So when I came here, because again, when I was in the Philippines, I didn't really have the luxury of saving money. Like I just had to spend all of my paycheck because I didn't earn enough. But when I came here to the UK, I was earning a lot more than I was before. So I didn't know exactly how to manage all of that. Like I would just put a set amount of savings on a saving account per month, and then I would just spend the rest. Like I would buy stuff that I didn't need. Let's say I was earning £2,000. I'd put £300 on a savings account, and I'd be happy with that. I'd be like, oh, I managed to save £300, and that's it. So I have like all of this other money, disposable income, and just before payday, I would see, oh, I still have like £200. What do I spend this on? Like I'd go to Amazon, I'd go shopping out there, and then the problem was I had all of the saving goals as well, but I did not set a target date for those goals. So it's like 5 years down the line, you're wondering, why can I still not afford to buy a house? Or why do I feel like my savings are not growing at all? Or why do I feel like I'm stuck? That was one thing. And then the other was I wasn't tracking my spending. So I didn't know how much I was spending on groceries per month, for example. I thought I was being very frugal. I thought I was spending something like £150 per month. But when I started using Nova, I started, seeing all of my finances put in their specific categories. How much I spend on groceries, how much I spend on shopping, how much I spend on subscriptions, and all of that. And like the first time I saw my finances really laid out in front of me, I was so shocked. I guess I was like in denial. I'm not spending 250 pounds on groceries. That's crazy. But actually, I had a look at all of the transactions, and I'm like, oh my God, like how am I spending this much without knowing it? So it was the not setting up clearly defined goals. You know, with nursing, we always do like SMART goals, right? It has to be it has to be specific, it has to be measurable. It's the same with financial goals as well, with your saving goals. You don't say I want to buy a house and that's it. You have to say I want to buy a house and this is the deposit amount that I need to save up for. Let's say £20,000. I also need to save up for all of the other fees of buying a house. So let's say that's another additional £5,000. And I need to set a target date because that's what a lot of people miss out. They don't set target dates. So they can be saving for the next 10 years and they're still not able to afford buying a house. So you set a target date. And what does that tell you? It tells you how to calculate how much you need to save per month for your goals. So instead of just you saving 20% of your income, at least you have a more defined amount that you need to save up for. And it depends on that amount, you can adjust if your goals are realistic or not for you. I think also, Linda, it's not really just saving for a house, isn't it? A lot of us have so many saving goals. Like we want to buy a house, we also want to travel or go on holidays. What else are we saving up? We want to buy a new phone. There's so many things that we are actually saving up for. And because of that, you're kind of like wondering, is my salary ever going to be enough to pay for all of this stuff? You also have the emergency fund, you have the immigration expenses. So it kind of gets a little bit overwhelming you when you have all of those things that you need to save up for. So having a plan is what will make it organized and what will make it more realistic for you.
Like this is one of the big things for anybody that is moving from another country to a new country. Having a plan of what you want to achieve, what is important to you, it will help you not to get distracted. And in terms of saving, it will also help you a lot. Like if you have a plan that this is what you want to achieve in a number of years, then it will give you a clue of how much you also want to save or how much you also want to work and all of that. Because from my experience, you notice that when you get to the UK, because of the cultural diversity and all of that, you discover that people have different interests, people have different responsibilities. So you want to make sure you have a solid plan and actually stick to it. And that's what makes the difference between people that succeed very fast when they move to a new country and people that actually struggle. So if you have a solid plan, it will make a whole lot of difference, whether savings or any other thing.
It's not just about the setting goals and not just about knowing, how much you need to save up for. It's also budgeting what you have now so that you can reach those saving goals, and you also have enough to pay for your bills. You have enough to, enjoy life a little bit. So it's having a balance of everything in your life. But having a plan is what makes it.
Yeah, I completely agree with all these things that she has mentioned today. A lot of people struggle. I struggled. I'm also guilty of some of these mistakes, So getting discouraged or thinking that you're not earning enough or thinking that savings or investing is for the rich people. No matter the salary you make, actually what you save is what makes you what actually gives you that value of whether you are rich or you are poor. So if you are earning everything and working so much and you're not able to save or invest or grow your income, and you keep putting in all the work to make sure you earn more, but you're not saving and you're not building that wealth. Today, what people emphasize and what the rich people always emphasize is the importance of investing. No matter the little that you invest, you see it grow. And she mentioned the compound effect. If you have not read a book called The Compound Effect by I've forgotten the author now. So this book actually talks about the little things that you can do every day, and at the end of the day you will see how massive the results will be at the end of the day. I'm going to leave a link in the description below of that book. It's actually a very interesting book. It encourages you to take little actions every day, and at the end of the day, you see what your little efforts will actually lead
Which is
to.
like
Usually a very
the app
massive
that I use
success.
and the one that we created, and that was really to help people manage their finances better. So as I mentioned earlier, it's about you can see all of your finances and you know exactly where your money is going, and you can set goals in there as well. So you can put in your emergency fund, you can put in your immigration expenses and everything else that you want to save up for, and then Nova creates the budget for you. So that is the app that we created. And the reason why we did this in the first place is we just really want people to allocate their money to the things that really matter to them. So, we live in a world where you're like tempted to spend everywhere. You see ads everywhere, targeted ads, instant gratification. So it's very, very hard to save money when you live in a culture or a society where you are encouraged to spend, spend, spend. So yeah, so when you see that you're progressing towards your saving goals, when you see that you are saving money for things that are really important for you, then you get less distracted on the outside noise. So it's a mobile app, but it's also usable in the iPad, but it's very much easier to use it on the mobile. It's free, so there is a free version, but there also is a premium version where you have more features on the premium version. But with the free version, you can use it. You can only set up to 2 goals on the free version, but it's still a good start. So have a look at the app, have a feel, and understand how it works. And if you want, you can get the premium version of it. It's only like £3.99 per month, so it's not really like expensive. Obviously, it's an app for saving money, so we don't want you to spend a lot on an app to help you do that. And that is available on the App Store and Google Play, so it's very easily downloadable. It's called Nova Money.
So thank you so much, Angela, for coming on this channel. I really appreciate your efforts. If you have not downloaded Nova Money, go ahead and check out her company. Is actually a very good one. I have downloaded it myself, and actually it's really very helpful. It has a free version and it also has a pro version, but it's really, just like she said, very, very good app that you are going to benefit from. So check out Nova Money. Leave a review for them if you feel that the app needs to be developed more, and encourage other people to save. Let 2022 be a time where you actually pick up your life and build what you want to see in your life. And I hope you found this video inspiring. Come back for more to hear about her story. And if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, go ahead and subscribe, and always